Marsha Waani. Today, I will report a news about global warming. Currently, we can see that global warming is a viral news, but there are still many people who don't know it clearly. Actually, what is global warming? What is the impact on the Earth and everything in it? Global warming is an increase in the average temperature of the Earth's surface caused by an increase in greenhouse gases in the Earth's atmosphere. Global warming has hit all regions on Earth, even in the coldest regions of Earth. During the last 100 years, the Earth's temperature has increased by 0.74 to approximately 0.18 degrees Celsius. An increase in the temperature of the Earth has negative effects on Earth and its contents. Some of the impacts are as follows. First, melting of ice sheets at the North and South Poles. This even resulted in rising sea levels globally. This could result in a number of small islands sinking. The lives of people living in the coastal areas are threatened. Settlements were hit by tidal flooding due to high tides, and this resulted in damage to social and economic facilities. If this happens continuously, the consequences can threaten the joys of people's lives. The second, the increasing intensity of extreme weather phenomena. Climate change makes seasons difficult to predict. Farmers cannot predict the estimated planting season due to the uncertain season. Due to the unpredictable planting season and erratic rainy season, the harvest production season is the same. This has an impact on the problem of providing food for the population, hunger, employment, and even causes crime due to pressure of life demands. The third, extinction of various types of fauna. Flora and fauna have tolerance limits to temperature, humidity, moisture. The increase in global temperature causes disruption of the water cycle, humidity, and impacts on plant growth, thereby inhibiting the rate of primary productivity. This condition also influences the habitat and life of the fauna. Fourth, animal habitats change due to changes in temperature, humidity, and primary productivity factors, so that a number of animals migrate to find suitable new habitat. Bird migration will change due to changes in seasons, wind direction, and speed, ocean currents, which carry nutrition, and fish migration. Fifth, increasing sea level. High tide and erratic rainy season causes an increase in the frequency and intensity of floods. Sixth, changes in ocean currents due to changes in air pressure, wind speed, and the temperature. Global warming itself occurs when the global average temperature of the Earth's surface increases. This is because of carbon dioxide or CO2 and other air pollutants and greenhouse gases collect in the atmosphere and absorb sunlight and solar radiation that bounces off the Earth's surface. This will usually escape into space, but because of the presence of pollutants, so that radiation and sunlight are trapped in the atmosphere for years. This phenomenon is known as the greenhouse effect. In addition, global warming can occur because of a reverse effect. The following is an explanation of greenhouse effect and the reverse effect. Greenhouse effect. The process of greenhouse effect can be explained in the following figure. In greenhouses used in stultification, especially in countries that experience winter or in plant experiments in the field of biology and agriculture, solar energy or heat that enters through the glass roof is partly reflected out of the atmosphere and partly trapped in the greenhouse, thereby raising temperature in it. An example of something that can illustrate the occurrence of greenhouse effect is when we are in a car with closed glass that is parked in the hot sun. The heat that enters through the windshield partly reflected back out through the glass but partly trapped in the car compartment. As a result, the temperature inside the room is higher or hotter than outside. The sun is the main energy source of every energy sources found on Earth. Solar energy is mostly in the form of short-wave radiation, including visible light. The energy hits the surface of the Earth and changes from the light to heat. The surface of the Earth then absorbs some of the heat so that it warms the Earth, and some of it is reflected back into space. The accumulation of greenhouse gases such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, and methane in the atmosphere causes some of this heat in the form of infrared radiation to remain trapped in the atmosphere in the Earth's atmosphere. Then these gases absorb and reflect the wave radiation emitted by the Earth's surface. As a result, this heat will be stored on the Earth's surface. The condition can occur repeatedly, resulting in the Earth's annual average temperature continues to increase. This greenhouse effect is very much needed by all living things on Earth, because without the greenhouse effect, the planet Earth will be very cold, approximately minus 18 degrees Celsius, so that the entire surface of the Earth will be covered with a layer of ice. Reverse effect. The causes of global warming are also influenced by various reverse effect processes, such as water evaporation. At first, heating will increase the amount of water vapor in the atmosphere, because water vapor itself is a greenhouse gas. Heating will continue and increase the amount of water vapor in the air, until an equilibrium of water vapor concentration is reached. The situation causes the greenhouse effect it produced to be greater than that of the CO2 gas itself. This reverse effect event can increase the absolute water content in the air, but the relative humidity of air is almost constant or even slightly decreases as the air warms up. Due to the long lifespan of CO2 in the atmosphere, this reverse effect can slowly be reversed. In addition to evaporation, clouds are thought to be a reverse effect. Infrared radiation will be reflected back to the Earth by clouds, thus increasing the warming effect. Meanwhile, this cloud will also reflect sunlight and infrared radiation into space, thereby increasing the cooling effect. In detail, this is difficult to represent in climate models, partly because of clouds ridiculously small when compared to the distance between computational boundaries in the climate model. However, cloud feedback ranks second when compared to water vapor feedback and is considered positive of increasing warming in all models used in the IPCC 4th Outlook report. Another important counter effect is the loss of reflectivity by the ice. Ice sheets near the poles are melting at an increasing rate as global temperatures increase. As the ice melts, the land or water beneath it will open up. Both land and water have the ability to reflect less light than ice, and consequently will absorb more solar radiation. This event will add to the factors that cause warming and cause more ice to melt, so that it becomes a continuous cycle. Another factor that contributes to global warming is the positive reverse effect due to release of CO2 and CH4 from softening of frozen soil or permafrost. In addition, the melting ice will also release CH4, which can also lead to positive feedback. The ocean has the ecological ability to absorb carbon in the atmosphere. Phytoplankton is able to absorb carbon for the continuity of the photosynthesis process. But this ability will decrease if the sea warms due to decreased nutrition levels in the mesopelagic zone. thus limiting the growth of diatoms rather than. In recent years, we have often heard about CO2 emissions. CO2 emissions are always associated with global warming events. CO2 emissions are generated from burning fossils such as coal, petroleum, and gas. The following is data on CO2 emissions and Earth temperature from 2010 to 2019. From this data, it can be seen that as the years go on, the level of CO2 gas emissions increases, making the Earth's temperature warmer. Efforts or response as students. As students, we can help in overcoming or reducing global warming. We can start by doing a little things. The following things are: first, implementing reduce, reuse, and recycle. The second, use less air conditioning. And the third, turn off the lights when not needed. 2. Efforts or response from government. The government in the state of Indonesia has made low carbon development methods to the main key to tackling and slowing global warming. This development, based on a comprehensive and strategic environmental analysis, was initiated through the cooperation between the government and research institutions, developers, international organizations, and the private sector. Low carbon development aims to make development sustainable without reducing environmental quality, even though it will have even higher economic development. The simulation results show that protection of the environment makes our economy better. As a good society, we need to realize the importance of overcoming and reducing global warming. Steps that we can take to reduce global warming are: first, using public transportation. 2. Save energy. 3. Eating less meat and starting to be vegan. 4. Recycling. And 5. Tell and teach others to protect the earth. Entrepreneurs can participate in reducing global warming by doing the following. First, treat and dispose of generated waste properly without damaging or polluting the surrounding environment. The second, recycle unsold goods or products in the new products. 3. Produce products with environmentally friendly materials. So, from this explanation, we can see that global warming events can be caused by natural factors and non-natural factors, or caused by humans. With global warming, Earth's temperature will get hotter and have a bad impact on the surrounding environment and human health. We as humans must reduce activities that can trigger increased global warming. We must protect and preserve the surrounding environment and start using environmentally friendly products. That way, we can reduce global warming.